Today, I'm going to be discussing the management of capital budgets, construction in progress, and the resulting assets created from it. So where does this topic fall in your asset lifecycle management process? The very first step, acquisition. Many assets, expensed or capitalized, are outright purchased. However, you may have some assets that are the result of projects and budgets that fall under work in progress or construction in progress. These are usually multi-component assets whose acquisition value is the cumulative total of all of the invoices from the various vendors you've been working with to build the asset. These are the kinds of assets we'll be focusing on today. So let's walk through some examples of potential projects your business might be working on today. You might be building a new location, plant, or warehouse. Potentially, you may be remodeling, retooling, or upgrading an existing building or asset. All of these undertakings and the various assets needed or built to complete them are considered construction in progress. During construction, these assets cannot be listed in a fixed asset account and cannot be depreciated. But we still need to keep track of them. So how do we go about doing that? For most organizations, it's a three-step process. First, we need to define the high-level project, the time frame associated with it, and the budget. Then, we can dig into each individual asset or assets that will be created during the project. We call these line items. And finally, for each line item, there will be a number of invoices or transactional costs associated with building the asset. We refer to these as transactions. Organizing and monitoring all three of these levels is construction in progress project management, and it has its own set of challenges associated with it. Usually, you'll have more than one project going at the same time, needing multiple project status reports, multiple budget reviews, and project notes for each step of the way. Manually keeping track of these dates and decisions can become an overwhelming task. Even if you're only managing one project at a time, it can begin to be overwhelming. Creating assets can take weeks or months or even years, and you may have hundreds, if not thousands, of line items connected to the project. All of them need to be properly tracked. So how are you managing these projects today? Many organizations are still tackling this challenge by hand, collecting hard copies of receipts, proposals, and budgets to pull all the data together into one place. Then, someone will more than likely take all of that data and manually transcribe it into an Excel document. And finally, transfer all of the completed files into some kind of a document storage system. Now, what if you have multiple projects to manage at the same time? Now there are multiple folders with multiple spreadsheets being manually created in order to create even more documentation for your storage system. As you can imagine, this approach can lead to problems and errors. So let's talk through some of the hazards this approach can present. First, transcription errors. Whenever somebody has to manually transcribe data from one place to another, mistakes can and will be made. Next are spreadsheet errors. Not only can the data be corrupted as it's transcribed, but if it's heading to Excel, there's a whole new set of challenges. Formulas can be entered in incorrectly, users may use different terminology from spreadsheet to spreadsheet, or information may get lost when combining spreadsheets for consolidated reporting. And finally, lost and misplaced invoices. If you're working off a paper trail, there's always a chance that those physical invoices could be lost or misplaced. This is where Sage Planning can help. If you're managing these projects with Sage Planning, you can look across all projects your organization is currently managing and drill down on any of them. Track all of your project details and financials in order to monitor physical and financial completion of projects. You can even customize fields at the project, line item, and transactional level on a project-by-project basis if needed, and create security profiles to define what projects your users have access to and what they can or cannot do with that project data. The system offers a number of reports to keep an eye on capital budgets and ensure projects will be able to make it across the finish line, as well as a high-level dashboard view to quickly take the pulse of any project and ensure it's on track. And finally, when you're ready to complete a line item, in order to create one or multiple assets, Sage Planning can export the completed assets financial data out to an Excel or flat file for import into your fixed asset management solution. Of course, if you happen to be working with the Sage Fixed Assets Depreciation or Tracking, those new assets can be placed directly into the Sage Fixed Assets solution to begin depreciating and being physically tracked.